It sounds better. Perfect. I sound clear. Okay. All right. Okay, good. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let me start my recording. Oh, let me turn my video on. First of all, video is not even on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's complimentary webinar for right now. So Writing for Profits is a webinar series that I created for people who have either already written their book or you're very close to getting your book written, to help you to set up your online bookstore and then to make money from your book. So I have several webinars that go with this series. And today we are going to focus on creating your own bookshop. Step one to making money from your book is having a place where people can view your book, get the details about your book and about you, and then click the buy button so that they can purchase your book. So I'm going to walk you through 5 ways to set up your online bookshop on today. Now the replay for today is going to be available only for, let me see. I think I'm going to take it down on Sunday. So you're going to get a link after this webinar is over automatically with the replay. Also, I am going to be sending you some tools and tips email with all of the resources that I'm going to go through on today. So I'm going to show you all 5 of these different ways to set up your online bookshop. And then when I email you, I'm going to email you the links to go ahead and get it started for whichever option you choose. I'm also going to help you to decide which option is going to work best for you. So I'm going to walk you through some considerations that you want to have as well. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to see where everyone is. So I'm going to push out a quick little survey to you. Okay. First, I want to ask you all this. So you all should see a question on your screen. And if you could please vote. The question is, where are you in the writing and the publishing process? Now, if you're new to me, you never seen or heard me speak before, you might have ran across a post, don't worry, I'm going to introduce myself in just a moment. But I just want to see where most of you are that are joining me so that I'll know how in depth to go when I cover today's content. Have you already published one book? Are you still writing your first book? Have you published at least one and now you're working on another? Or have you already written and published multiple books? And where do you currently, where are you with your book sales? So I want to know, are you selling your books consistently? Have you not sold a book yet? Where are you? Let me see, how many people do we have that have voted? All right. If the sound is still blurry for you, I just would recommend restarting your audio or maybe your device, because I'm streaming and perhaps, if it's clear for everyone else, then I would say that if you're having an issue, you might want to restart your audio or your device so that I can come across more clearly. I am going to be sharing my screen, and I really want you to be able to see the screen that I'm going to share with you as well. I don't want you to be unable to view my screen. Okay, so some of you have voted. All right, so from what I see here, it says that most of you are still writing your first book. I was actually expecting that. 70% of you are still writing your first book. Is there any one person, and I already know who that one person is, who already published their book? Okay, and somebody else is working on writing and publishing more, and okay, and then 40% of you have not yet published or sold any books, and then 20% have already published, and your book sales are not consistent. Okay. Well, you are in the right place. Okay, I got one more question for you on today. Now, this one is going to require for you to type, because I want to know what your expectations are. If you don't mind letting me know, what are you looking forward to take away from this webinar on today? And just type it in real quick and let me know, because I want to make sure that I am meeting and exceeding your expectations. It's a pretty simple topic that I said this is about creating your online bookshop, and I'm literally going to show you the different ways you can do that. But what is there any specific question? That's what number 2 is. What's the top question that you have for me? What is the number 1 question that you have for me on today? I don't see okay, maybe I gotta post them in order to see. All right, I'm gonna share these and then maybe I'll be able to see. Let me look what you're saying in the chat. I'm still writing my first book. Any insight? I haven't done this before. Online bookshop behind the scenes tips. Okay. All right, let me see. Is it going to? No, dang, I can't see your questions. Okay, for some reason, I thought I was going to be able to see what you guys typed in, but I can't see it. Can you please type it into the chat? I'm sorry, y'all. Please type it into the chat. I thought I was going to be able to see what you typed, but I was not. I was only able to see that you typed something. So I see that some of you said behind the scenes. One person said any insight at all. Yeah, can you just type it in, please, to the chat real quick? What is one question that you have for me on today? And what is the main expectation that you have as a result of joining on today? We will be done approximately at 1:15 p.m. Eastern, which is a little bit less than an hour from now. So this is not going to be a lengthy webinar, but it is going to be detailed. And like I said earlier, you will be getting the replay for this as well. All right. All right, let's keep going. Everything you teach about this will be new information to me. Do you have to have a separate website? I'm going to answer that one within the first 5 minutes. Help with streamlining my process to get people to see and purchase my book and learning the options for selling. Okay, good. All of those questions I'm going to answer. Now, let me see if my presentation is ready. No. Okay. So what I need to do is share my screen with you because it did not upload properly, which is super duper annoying. All right. Let me share my screen with you and then we'll jump right in. Get into my slides here. Okay, so everybody's seeing my slides, right? Yeah, you guys should be good. I can see that you're seeing them. I know I just made them small. Okay, now I'm gonna have questions at the end, so just bear with me. We're going to take a little break, not at the very end, but kind of midway through. So welcome to Writing for Profits webinar series, how to sell and profit from your book sales online. This is who I am. So for those who are new to me, you've never worked with me before, maybe you just ran across me briefly on social media, I am your book coach. My name is Sarita Foxworth. I've written and published 11 books in a 2-year period. And right now I make upwards of $2,000 per month in book sales by leveraging technology and creating effective online marketing and sales strategies. And I love working with Christian authors to help you get your message out because I understand that writing a book is a call of God. This is God's work that we're doing. This is not something that we're just doing to make money, even though money is a byproduct. This is not something that we're doing so that we can be famous, but it's something that we're doing so that we can make Christ famous in our own way through telling our own stories or publishing our own children's books or poetry books or whatever kind of book it is that you're working on. This is still God's work. All right, so that is who I am. And then if you don't already, please follow me at the Book Artist Project. Okay, and I also have a YouTube page. Just in case you didn't know, where I have videos. Let me make sure you guys are still good real quick. Okay, good. So you guys are still good. Okay. So let's dive into creating your own bookshop. A couple things I want to keep in mind, I want you to keep in mind before I start to walk you through all these different ways. There are multiple ways that you can set up your online bookstore. There's no right or wrong way. So I'm going to show you 5 options, and my goal on today is for you to see at least 2 to 3 of those ways that you would like to set up your online bookshop. Now, you can go ahead and set that bookshop up, at least one of them, while you're writing your book so that you can sell pre-orders on your book. And then once you officially publish your book, you can set up those other ways. Or you can have a long-term strategy so that you can have your book selling in all of these 5 ways at some point in the near future. The more ways that you can sell your book to people, the more your books are going to sell. You don't want to give people, you don't want to be a one-trick pony. You don't want to just give people one way to buy your book. You want to give them multiple ways, because people are going to find you, discover you, and come across your product in multiple ways. And you never want to not be able to make a sale because that person prefers to purchase or shop a certain way, and you don't have a way for them to get your book in that way. Now, what I just said is going to make sense in about 5 seconds. Here are the 5 ways. All right, and I'm literally about to take you through these. You can have a book-only website. You can have a sales landing page. You can have a social media shop, an Amazon storefront, or an e-commerce platform. Now, again, I'm going to walk you through these right now. I'm going to show you what they look like. I'm going to give you a couple of things to consider so you can select the one that works best for you. And then I'm going to email you maybe an hour or 2 after we end today's session, and I'm going to give you the links and the tools it is that you need to go and start setting this up for your book. All right, so right now I'm going to jump into the tutorial. Let me show you. We're going to start with the book-only website, and then I might go in order. Okay, so a book-only website is going to look like this. Now, when I wrote and published my very first book in 2018, it's called How to Heal a Broken Heart. When I first started marketing this book, I had a book-only website, which means even though this is a page off of SaritaFoxworth.com, this page is only for the book. There's nothing else on this. And when you go to the link, the only thing you get is information about this book. Now, I will confess, this ain't the most beautiful page in the world. I have come a long way. So this was, 2 years ago, and God knows I've come a long way. You don't see me in this pink dress no more. I am much more professional, and I have upgraded my technology since then. However, my first book was a hardcover book. So it was $24.99. And because I don't even sell hardcovers anymore. And the only thing that is on this page is me showing you the book, telling you about myself, and then there's many links throughout this page to where you can click on to purchase the book. So now they have much better templates too these days. So even if you want to do a book-only website, but you don't want to pay a website designer, you can use a template and you can still make it more beautiful than this. This page is not even visible anymore. I don't market this page anymore. I have more professional upgraded ways to sell my book. But this is an option. I just wanted to show you. The only thing that you would need for this option is to purchase a domain. Now, granted, this is SaritaFoxworth.com/. This is not it's not howtohealabrokenheart.com. I would recommend, though, if you want to do a book-only website, use your book's name as the domain. The only thing you need to do is purchase the domain, find a host, and then go ahead and design and upload images of your book, and then have a button for people to click on to purchase the book from you. All right, so that's what that would look like. Now, I want to show you a landing page, which is different than a book-only website because a website is more robust than a landing page. This is a book only landing page. This landing page is created to market the Find Your Purpose Ultimate Guide only. Now, as you can see, this entire page is built around finding your purpose. There's a video here. In this particular video, I coach you through the guide as if you already had the guide. I did this video while I was still writing the book. So this video is for coaching. Plus, I talk to you about what's inside the guide. I have the guide right there. I have links to purchase the guide. And then I have some images here so you can see what's inside of the guide and what you're going to get. Because my ultimate guides always include this stuff that you see right here that's not normally in an ebook. I have videos and audios embedded inside of all of my ultimate guides. So I wanted to make sure that I emphasize that if anybody was interested, I have what you can expect when you're reading through the guide, another link to purchase it, but it is short and sweet. This is one page only. It is a landing page. You could make yours more robust. So you can add more information, such as you can add book reviews. You can have book reviews. You can have a link to your Instagram photos where people are holding your book. So you can do a lot more if you choose to do so. Okay. So you can make your landing page more robust, but I just want to highlight to you the difference between a landing page and a book-only website is that the landing page is straight about the book. That's it. There's no other pages. There's only one page. And there might be a brief explanation about you as an author, but really the focus is just the book. Now, a book-only website might have a page that says about the author. You also might have a contact us page. You also could have an opt-in, so you can collect email addresses, you see? So you can multitask on a book-only website because it's a full-blown website with multiple pages. But a landing page is just one solid page for the book. All right. One thing you could do, though, is you could have a book-only website, and then you could just have a landing page on that website. That way, when people come to the website, they will only get the page about your book, and then you'll have the tabs at the top to where people will get more information about you, what you offer. You still don't want it to be a full-blown website, though, if that makes sense. This is not going to be like your first name, last name.com website. It's not going to be like your whole everything that you offer. It's still going to be only focused on your book. Now, the third option for setting up a online bookshop is going to be a social media shop. Now, I did post about this on my page, but I want to show you what this looks like. So you can only do this, by the way, on Facebook or Instagram because they're the only ones that have the option to do so. As you can see, if you go to my Facebook page, Sarita Foxworth 1, now, you can set up this page to look like a bookshop, which I think I'm actually going to do so that you don't have to stroll so much to get to the shopping part. I think this is too much strolling to get to the shop. As you can see on the left side of the page, that is my bookshop. If I click on see all, these are my books. Well, this is everything that is in the Love and Miracles boutique. I didn't know that. Okay, this is new. Okay, the whole layout looks a lot different than I thought. This whole view collection. Now, this is so good. And let me tell you why. Because a lot of your marketing is going to be on social media. And people want to shop on social media. They don't want to have to go outside of social media to buy what it is that you're offering. On social media, you can people will make a lot of impulse purchases. You probably have seen an ad on social media and you went and clicked it and bought it right away, or you fully intended to click it and buy it right away. Because it's late at night, you just in the bed chilling, you strolling, and you're like, oh, what is that? Let me click on that. If it's the right price, I'm going to order it right then and right there. Now, because they want to get their money, they don't want you to send people outside of social media either to purchase your products. They have a way, which you probably have noticed when you logged into Instagram within the last 2 weeks. Now there is actually a shop button, which didn't used to be there. And you can create a wish list inside the app. I mean, you can. They're trying to compete with Amazon. You can create a wish list on Instagram, and you can add products from different pages, and then you can literally add your credit card number and purchase them without having to exit Instagram. Instagram or without having to exit Facebook. Now, how does that look on the back end? For you as the bookshop owner, this is how it looks. These are all of my books. Now, what you will do is you can either link your books individually within the app. There's a way to do that, or you can connect your e-commerce site. And I'm gonna get to that. Let me see here. How many did I took you through? 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one did I miss? Hold on, let me look at my notes. Oh, Amazon. So before I show you how to link your e-commerce, or I'm not actually gonna show you, I'm gonna talk to you about it. I want to show you Amazon. But you see, these are all of my books. And what I had done is I have linked my e-commerce site to my Facebook shop so that this is visible. Now, if you are going to use a book-only website, or if you're going to use the e-commerce shop and you're not going to offer anything else, you can then have clickable shop. Is it clickable shoppable? Or is it shoppable? I think it's just called shoppable post on Instagram. Meaning, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Hold on. I don't know if I can pull it up. Let me see. Meaning that people can click on the post, they will see your book, and they'll be able to go and purchase it. Let me see if it comes up. No, it's not gonna come up on the computer. All right, it's not gonna come up on the computer. But so see how I have this link here in this link tree. When you click on my link in my bio, it pulls up what? It does not go to my bookstore. It pulls up all the links for everything that I offer. And apparently I offer a lot of different things. Okay, I got a lot going on. So I have mentor groups, challenges. I have coaching that's going on in addition to selling my books. I also have opt-ins inside of my link, and I have other things that I'm doing within my link in bio. So for that reason, I can't have Instagram shoppable posts. If I was only selling books, if I wanted to put the link in my bio instead of it being Linktree, if I only wanted to put my book's website or my bookstore website, then it would allow me to have clickable posts. In other words, I will be able to post my book like this. You will be able to click on this and you will be able to purchase my book just by clicking on my post on Instagram. The only reason I can't do that is because I have multiple offerings and multiple links when you go to the link in my bio. This link has to go directly to your bookstore. And if it does, then they will approve your page so that you're able to do that. You have noticed that probably. You've seen, especially with the fashion people, you will go to their Instagram page and you can click on their post and you can shop and buy outfits and things of that nature. Okay. Is everyone else seeing my screen? This is why I wanted to check in here. Is there anyone else who cannot see the screen okay, everybody else is seeing it. All right. Sarah, I think is it Sarah or Sarah? Hi, I don't know. But if you cannot see my screen, then you might need to restart your device because everybody else is seeing it. All right, let me get back to this. So, but you'll also get the replay as well. I hope you can see it soon, though. I hope you'll be able to fix that. Okay. So, Instagram is owned by Facebook. Wanted to make sure that I said that. So when you go into Facebook and you set up your shop, it should automatically come over to Instagram. However, if yours is separate like me, even though they won't allow me to do it on Instagram, I'm happy that they do allow my shop to be visible on Facebook. So I don't have clickable posts on Instagram, but you can go to my page and you can go to my products. You can see what's on sale now. Is this updated in real time? It looks no, this thing is outdated. This is not updated. I don't know why it's not updated, but mm, I have a bookshop. So if anybody wants to shop with me on Facebook, they can do that. If anybody wants to shop with you, they should be able to go to your Facebook if you're marketing on Facebook. So this is one way that people can shop your bookstore on social media without you having to have. So let's say you don't want to do a landing page, or you might not even want a book only website. You might only want an e-commerce site. You just have to have something to link here so that your information for your books can come over. But I believe you can just upload stuff. I'm trying to think about that though. No, you have to have a website, because your link in your Instagram bio has to have it has to link to your books. The only way you can get around that is if you only want to post your shop on Facebook and not on Instagram, because then you don't have to worry about having a separate website anywhere. You literally can just sell because you're using social media. Okay. Now, let me take you to your Amazon page. This is my author page on Amazon. And when you go into this author page, this is what your Amazon shop will look like. As you can see, these are all of my books. You hit the button and all of my books that are available on Amazon are there. You can get paperback. You can get a Kindle edition. They're all here. To the left, you'll see my pretty picture, and you'll see information about me. And then there's a link in there too somewhere. Where is it? Oh, there's my website, even though it's not. It should show up hyperlink, but it's not. But you do have the information about how to follow me. Now, I will say this. Amazon is amazing because you can get your book all over the world. However, I still recommend having an additional way to sell your book because of this reason. You see this? Customers also bought these items. You see these people over here? This is your competition. So while somebody is on your page, they're going to go to the left and say, oh, look at this. I know this person right here. Let me go check them out. Blah, blah. I seen them on TV. And it's like, Amazon, don't recommend famous people. But it doesn't matter. But, and people get easily distracted on Amazon, of course, which you already know as well. They could be coming to look at your book, and next thing you know, they're shopping for a tablecloth or a Christmas tree. And, now hopefully you can get people laser focused so that people will just go directly to your book or to what you're selling without getting and purchase it without getting distracted. But the good thing though, even though that's one of the negatives, the benefits is that you can sell your book all over the globe. So for international places where the shipping is ridiculous, in order to ship a book overseas, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. You'll be paying for the book to send it to somebody, because you don't want nobody to have to pay $50 for a book. But once you add in shipping, when I first started selling my books, I shipped them overseas. And I remember I had an order coming from a lady in London. And in order to send her one hard copy of my book, and it had a pen with it, it had a diamond pen. The shipping was $25. Now, she didn't mind paying it. So she did have to pay, I think it was $52 or something like that. Then the book got lost. So I was upset because I was like, she had been waiting for it for like 3-4 weeks. It never showed up. So then I had to send her another book on me. And that kind of stuff, that was the reason why I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. If anybody is overseas, they have to go and get my book on Amazon. You cannot sell a paperback. You can't sell a hardcover book on Amazon using KDP. Now, there is another way to go about selling your hard copy on Amazon, but I'm not going to get into that just yet. Well, not today. That's not the focus of today. However, I just wanted to show you that this is what your online bookshop will look like when you want to sell your book on Amazon. Now, let's get into the last one, which is my favorite one and the one that I highly recommend before I go into consideration. So I'm going to give you some things to think about so that you can choose which option is going to work best for you. You may or may not have already been to my online bookstore, which is called the Love and Miracles Boutique. And this is the e-commerce site. I love it. I wish when I first started writing and selling books, I started with an e-commerce site, but I didn't. I actually didn't start selling my books. It was a year ago, November of 2019. But remember, I have been writing and selling books since April of 2018. but I wish I would have started with an e-commerce site. Number one, this is very clean, very professional, easy to navigate. Number two, on the back end, which I am going to get into later, but on the back end of book selling, you have taxes that you have to pay. You have to keep up with customer orders. You have the analytics, all the analytics that I always show you how much money I've made and what nations my books are selling in. I've gotten all of those things because of my e-commerce site. Those things are not available unless the only way that you have to integrate your e-commerce site into your landing page. You would integrate. Now it is integrated into Facebook. So all of this that you see on my Facebook shop is pulled over from here. But like I just showed you, this is not even updated. Now I don't know why it's not updated. Because look, I don't sell these anymore. I think if you click on this, it shouldn't come up because I don't even sell these anymore. Like this is not available to even purchase. You can save it. Let me see. See how it says this will take you to sales.com. You can't check out on my website because I don't sell that pen anymore. So see, it's not even it's not updated. However, even though it may not be updated, this is still a good option. And I probably just need to contact or look into why it has not been updated. This is still a really good option now because I still have it up there. Because some stuff is updated, like these, you can still purchase these actual things right here. All right, now, what else did I want to tell you about this? I just love how clean it is and how organized it is and the different things that you can do when you have your own e-commerce site. All right, now let me help you to decide which option is going to work best for you. Okay, and I do see your questions. I'm going to answer them. I'll go ahead and answer them right now. Hold on a minute. Let me go ahead and answer some of these questions in the chat. And then I'm going to help you to decide which online bookstore option will work best for you. There's only 2 questions I've seen. Why don't you sell hardcovers anymore? Well, the simple answer is that it is just easier to sell soft covers. The simple answer is that it's easier. It's more expensive to produce a hardcover. It's more expensive to ship a hardcover. However, I enjoy hardcovers because when I myself purchase books, I look for the hardcover version, and I'm kind of upset when there's not a hardcover version. But on the business side of it, it's more cost effective, and it is less work because all of my books my printer is Amazon. So in order to print a hardcover, you have to find a separate printer because Amazon KDP will not print a hardcover. So that's the short and sweet answer to that. That was the only question. Okay. All right. So now let me talk to you about these considerations. Here's some considerations. Number one, you want to think about the ease of access and navigation for your book customers. Well, let me ask you this real quick. Hold on, because I know you can't even see that. I thought I opened up my screen, but I didn't. Which option, out of all of those options, out of all those 5 options, which one really looks like something that a way that you would want to sell your books? Would you want to do the landing page, the book-only website, e-commerce, social media, Amazon storefront? Or I would say which 2, because you can say everything, but you're not going to set up all 5 of them in one day, right? Which 2 would you want to focus on? I would say within the next 2 months, you need to get at least 2 of them set up. So you can do them all, but there's a separate process for each of them. A book-only website is going to have one domain. Your e-commerce site is going to have another domain. All of these have an individual process. the Amazon, like all of those, they're all separate, is what I want to say. That you can't link them all together. You can integrate some of them, but you can't link them all together. Let me explain. For example, okay, let me take you back to the landing page. Let me share my screen again. So let me see. I like the landing page, but having easy access to a shop page is better. It is. So let me show you what I mean. Okay, let me show you what I mean. So the landing page. Say you have a book only landing page. You cannot link a landing page to your Amazon page. It's not possible. You can type the link into your bio, but that doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess it would make sense if you only have one book, because then you would have your picture, you would have one book, and in your bio, you could say go to this link, but they're not linked together. If that they're not communicating with each other, even though it's visible. You can use your landing page link to put into Facebook. No, you can't. You cannot do that because Facebook is going to require it to be an e-commerce website. So it has to be something that Facebook recognizes as an e-commerce site so that they can communicate together. If you want to do like a book only page, there's the only way to connect a book only page to a e-commerce, like you would have to link that. Let me show you what I mean though. Let me show you one example because I'm gonna go back to define your purpose. So when I click on, actually, I need to click on digital guides. When I go to find your purpose, these websites do not talk to each other. They don't communicate. However, if anybody is ever, can I find it first? If anybody ever comes over to okay, digital downloads. If anybody ever comes over to the Find Your Purpose guide, I still want them to be able to go to the landing page if they want to see what's inside. Okay, so we're on my e-commerce site. I click on Find Your Purpose. In the description, I tell you what it's all about. I have a link, just like I was saying that you could do on Amazon. It says click here to see more about what's inside. When you click on this link, it'll take you to the landing page. But these don't automatically communicate. It's not integrated. It's just that I've told you that there's a link where you can go and you can see more about what's inside. Okay. So if that makes sense. Now, in order for the person to purchase it, it's still going to bring them right back to this exact same e-commerce website. So even when you click on this link down here in the description and it brings you to this page, when somebody wants to buy it and they click on this one, it's taking them right back to this page to purchase it. Make sense? Y'all, does that make sense? So integrating means that they will communicate together. Just saying that, you can go to this link and it will take you here, that's a different story. You can always post those words anywhere and say, here is where you can go to find, XYZ. But as far as getting them to automatically communicate, you have to have the option to integrate. And the only one that has the option is the social media, because you can integrate your e-commerce site with social media so that it automatically comes up, which means that I didn't have to go in and individually upload my book covers and my price. I didn't have to do any of this. This is talking to sales. That's why when you click on one of my books, there's a link in here and it says check out our website. It automatically goes to my sales.com because they communicate with each other by themselves. Does that make sense? Let me know if that does not make sense. Okay, she said she got it. What about Amazon printing the books? What about Amazon printing the books? What's the question? They print the books and ship them on your behalf. Yes. Mm-hmm. You can do that way. That is one way, though. I will say there are multiple ways to get your books on Amazon for people to purchase them. One way to get them on Amazon is for them to print them, but that's all about self-publishing, and I'm not going to get into self-publishing, but I will say that is one option. Okay, now let me get back into helping you choose which one will work best for you. I really want you guys, by the time I'm done with this, because I see a lot of you said you want to do all of them, but by the time you get done with this, I want you to select two, because you have some considerations for which one really is going to work best for you. All right, let me go back into my slides here. Here's some considerations. Ease of access and navigation for your book customers. So when somebody comes across you or your book, you want it to be easy for them to find your book, number one, get information about your book, and purchase your book. Now, you also want to consider giving them background about you, other books, cross sales, or opt-ins. And this additional section is 100% about the business side of you publishing your own book. Now, when you write and self-publish your book, you are automatically and instantly an entrepreneur. You now have a publishing house. It is your own individual publishing house. You're not a major publishing house, but you are a boutique publishing house, right? You are a self-publishing house. With that being said, you want to make sure that you are thinking about the fact that your book is a business. So when you are wanting to increase the sale, now the number one goal, right, is to get your book sold. It is pointless for God to give you an amazing message that's going to transform lives around the world, and then for your message to sit on your shelf in a box in the garage somewhere and get dusty. Nobody's getting the message. The whole point of God giving you the idea, the message, the wisdom, and the revelations, and the anointing to get this done is so that it can get into the hands of the people who are primed and ready for your message. And trust me, the Bible says that the harvest is white. The laborers are few. There is a harvest, your own, that you are assigned to. They're assigned to you. That's as white as snow. They are ready for your words and for your message. And you want to make it easy for them. You want to make it easy for them to find your book, get information about it, purchase it, and build the business part of this, which means that you want to tell them about you, because they might want to work with you on a deeper level, especially after you put this powerful tool and resource in their hand. They're going to want more from you. You want to tell them more about you, because some people need to vet you before they even spend $20 on your book. They need to know who you are. I'm like that, because there's so much spiritual misinformation and false doctrine being circulated that even if the title says Christ died on the cross, I want to go and see who wrote it and what are they saying about Christ, because there is a false Christ as well. If you didn't know, there is some people who talk about Christ and they're not talking about Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior, the anointed one. They're talking about some false version of Christ. So I like to see the author background before I go and invest in buying a book, especially if it has some spiritual content. Also, if you have other books, somebody said they wrote one and they're working on other books. So you want to be able to let people purchase more than one of your books. By the way, sidebar, the more books you write, the more books you sell. That is a fact. And you also want to cross-sell. Now, what is cross-selling? Cross-selling is when you have multiple offerings. So I work with women who they have an idea or a desire to also be a coach of some sort. You could be a life coach. You could be any other kind of coach as well. Usually you attract people who have a similar call as you. It ain't going to be identical, but it could be similar. So a lot of women that I work with are teachers in their own right. They might not teach out of school. I don't teach out of school, but I am a teacher. So I work with women who also teach a message that God has assigned to them to teach. You might have another offering that you want to sell to them. This is a cross sale or an opt-in. Opt-in, of course, is going to be how you're going to collect email addresses. That is 100% what opt-ins are used for. Okay. Another consideration is the ease of creation, order tracking, and reporting for you. Now, when I wrote and published my first book, nobody was giving me all of this good behind the scenes insight. So I'm giving it to you up front, because if I would have known, I would have started off using an e-commerce site from jump. I did not know. So because I didn't know, when I first started selling my book, all I had was a PayPal link in my bio. That was it. And then I moved on to having the book only, the website that I showed you, and that link would lead to PayPal. However, what happened when somebody contacted me and said, what's the status of my book? When did you ship it? Is it coming? Did it come yet? Now I got to scramble through PayPal, and I have to match the PayPal invoice and go and dig up the shipping tracking number. I got to match them together. Then I got to get back to somebody. And the more books, and that's okay in the beginning when you only got 1 or 2 books. But when you're selling a lot of books consistently, that is not going to work. You need something that's going to easily track your orders. So keep this in mind. You also want something that's easy for you to create. That way you don't have to hire a web designer. Okay, the goal when you are first writing your book is not to have to spend a boatload of money. You also want something that's going to be easy for you to navigate and understand. So these are all the things that are going to impact you as the author and as the business owner. You want to think about this. And then, of course, your reporting requirements. You need to be able to track how much your revenue is, how much your shipping costs, your packing costs, and then, of course, how much taxes it is you need to withhold, set aside, and then pay. And whichever option you use, it needs to have the ability to be able to perform all of those functions. You want your setup to be simple but professional. When I work with women to help them to write and publish their books, my goal is for it always to be as professional as possible. Professional doesn't have to mean that it needs to cost $10,000, but professional also means that it should not be bootleg. I don't want anybody who works with me to produce any bootleg product, any low budget. It look low budget. I want your stuff to be professional. So even when people come to purchase your book, I want your stuff to blend in. Meaning blend in with big professional companies, and not somebody visit your site and say, oh, I could tell she's a self-published. Oh, I could tell that this is Christian. No, I want your stuff to stand out and fit in with the best. You also want to make sure that your website can easily communicate with and provide real-time, I already said tracking, and pull down your reports. I already talked about that. And your product analytics. This is huge. This is so huge, y'all, because when I'm showing my analytics now, because now I went from the point of only writing and publishing my books to where I want to help other women to not only write and publish, but I want to help women to market and sell, which is another level. It's different. It's like you go from book idea to writing to self-publishing to now marketing and selling. So that's like a third stage, not level. There's a third stage, and I want to work with more women for marketing and selling, right? I really want to have a side of my business that where I only focus on marketing and selling. Now, in order for me to do that, the number one question that somebody who's vetting me is going to have is, how much money are you making on your book before you can try to teach me about making money on my book? Now, when I pull down my analytics, because I have not been using my e-commerce site, but for only 1 year out of the 2.5 years, you are only going to get data for that 1 year. So the 1 year is still cool, right? Because obviously I've been in business for more than a year. That's okay. But it would be much better if I was able to pull down my analytics for the whole 2 years. And if I was able to have not only how much money I have made, but you want to know things such as where are your book customers located? Because when you want to go on a book tour, that is how you decide where your book's selling. Where would it be smart for me to do a book signing or an event that I want to do? You can pull your analytics down, and that's how you can determine where you're going to go. Where are your potential clients located? Another thing you want to use analytics for is when you want to get your book translated. Now you can see, because you can see the countries that your book's selling. Now you can see which language would it be wise for me to get my book translated in first. Where is it selling? Even though I might say, well, I want it to be translated into Spanish. But if I have more books that are selling in France, then obviously I need to get it translated into French first. Now, these are long-term milestones that I'm talking about, right? Because some of you ain't even thought about getting your books translated. But this is still important. That's why right now, initially, choose the option that is going to help you to create a long-term strategy for your book business, and think about how you're going to be able to grow. Think about, if you're selling one book today, which bookshop option is going to work for you? But then think about when you have supernatural growth because you're doing God's work and you go from selling one book to selling 100 books in 1 month. Which option is going to work best for you, for your life, for your customers, for how you're reaching people? Because most people are online because of the where we are right now. Meaning, you can't do a lot of traveling, you can't have big events, so most people are online. However, let's say that you are the type of person who actually wants to build a book business where you do live events, you do book signings, and you are going to be a vendor. You're going to have a book vendor booth because you really want to work with people in person, and you could pull the bulk of your business in person, not online. So with that being the case, you wouldn't necessarily choose a social media shop. You would probably either choose the e-commerce site or a landing page. Why do I say that? Because when you are at a book vendor booth, you need people to get straight to what you're offering them because they're in the sea of other options. You need to take them to the landing page so they can see the bullet points about your book and about you and choose to buy it. Landing page. But you also need to collect their email address to contact them for future references. You don't need to send them to Facebook. They're not going to stop what they're doing and go to Facebook when they're passing by your booth in person. If you are a paid speaker, for example, and you're like, I want to speak and sell my book. I want to sell from the stage when I have speaking engagements. You might not need to have a shoppable social media, or even you wouldn't even want to send people to Amazon. You want it to be way more of a personal touch with you. So you could send them to a book only website. I think if you're a paid speaker, that would be the best option, because on a book only website, remember, you have multiple tabs. You're going to have about the author. You can have book me as your next speaker, and people can be watching you from the stage, visiting your website, purchasing your book in the back of the booth. And then when they sign up on your opt-in, you're going to email them to your book only website, and then they'll be able to get more information about you and book you to come and speak at their event. So you see how the option you choose is going to be based around how you want to set up your business. Now, you might not have been thinking about that right now, because right now you might be stuck in this season where you're like, I don't even know what chapters to put in my book. But I do want you to try to think a little bit further ahead in the future and take my advice. Okay, because again, I didn't have anyone to sit down and tell me to think about these things. And if I would have thought about these things in 2018, I would have set things up differently on the front end. Okay. Lastly, this is the last page to help you with your considerations of which options you want to choose. If you have multiple books, products, services, and businesses, you want your branding to flow, or you want to have intentional disruption. Now, what do I mean there? I right now am working on 2 businesses at once. I have Sarita Foxworth, which is life coaching, and then I have the Book Writers Project, which is 100% about writing books. So I intentionally created disruption. My branding colors, my branding fonts, and the goal of Book Writers Project is totally different than Sarita Foxworth Life Coach. All right, totally different. I wanted it to be that way on purpose. So even when you get a business book, all of my business books are under the umbrella of the Book Writers Project. Those books, you're going to see black. You're going to see gold. You're going to see very bold colors because I'm talking to you as a businesswoman. Now, when you come over to Sarita Foxworth and you want to work with me to break a soul tie, you're going to see different colors. You're going to see intentionally it is different on purpose. So you get to decide if you want to have multiple books, products, or services, if you want to have everything flow together, or if you choose to intentionally have it completely different. Another thing is, because I have 11 books, when I write books that are related to being a single woman, praying for your husband, and having babies, I like to keep those colors very feminine, very light, very classy looking. But when I go over into prophetic, you will see more bold looking colors, because I want you to be more of a bold prophetic woman. That's where you're going to see the coral, you're going to see the gold. Same thing with the business, because those are more about movement. Where the books that are for you being a woman of God and believing for a husband is more about your personal encounters with God as you're reading the book. It's more about you praying, hearing from God, building up your confidence as a woman. These are much more close to the heart. And prophetic is all about stepping out, being bold, prophesying. And so I intentionally have disrupted my branding. Those don't flow together, but they're not totally off, if that makes sense. So you can tell that it belongs a part of my overall brand, even though it is dramatically different. And you'll see that coming up in December. I'm going into a month where I'm only going to be talking about being prophetic and life purpose, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Also, you're doing everything to integrate seamlessly, which is another benefit of having an e-commerce site. You want everything to integrate seamlessly. You want multiple ways to receive payment. That's a big one that a lot of people don't think about. You don't only want to have PayPal as the way for people to pay you, because everybody does not have PayPal. Learn that the hard way. So again, the first year that I started, I only had a PayPal link. And I was shocked when people were like, I don't have PayPal. I don't use PayPal. I was like, are you kidding me? Everybody uses PayPal. What do you mean? And then I would say, well, because PayPal has the option where you don't have to create a PayPal account. You would just put your credit card number in. And people didn't even want to do that. And I was like, all right. And there's also countries that are banned on PayPal. So if you want to sell your book internationally, which I believe a lot of you do, the gospel needs to be international. It doesn't need to only be within your geographic location. And if you want to sell books internationally, PayPal has some countries that are banned. Found that out too. I was like, all right. So you want to have multiple ways for people to pay you. You can use different payment processors. There's a bunch of payment processors out there, and you can find the one that really is going to work best for you. The one that is easy for you to understand, I would say as well. When you're looking up payment processors, find the one that's easy for you to understand and easy for you to maneuver. Okay, because it could get confusing. There's a lot of technical jargon that they like to use, and some of those payment processors are created for like corporations. They're not created for small businesses, which is why they talk as if they're talking to a corporation. They use words like accounts receivable instead of just saying the money that you make or cash flow or customers paying you, which is a much easily to understand word than, accounts payable, or just say bills. Okay. So, and then of course, your scalable options. I think I talked about that already. You want to be able to scale. So you want to choose the option that's going to allow you to scale your book business. Scaling your book business means growing your book business over time. And I want you to think about your long-term and short-term business goals. Now, let me see if there's any questions. Let me open up my chat real quick. If there's no questions, I'm going to keep going. Let me see here. If you have e-commerce platform, can you add a link to Amazon for international customers to use? Good question. I think so. I think you could. I'm pretty sure I'm going to write my book and first translate it to English. That is amazing. I think that you probably... I think you can. The thing about e-commerce platforms is that they are very flexible, Justine. So even though I don't do that on my site, I believe that you can because they're created to be flexible. Okay. Any other questions before I move on? Okay, moving on, because we are going to be done in 10 minutes. All right, let me share my screen with you again, and we'll keep going. Next steps. The next steps for you, this is going to apply to most of you because I asked you at the beginning of today's webinar, I asked you where you were with writing and selling your book. Your next step is to start making money from your book by finish writing and self-publishing your book, creating a marketing and sales strategy, and making money and scaling, your publishing house businesses. Writing and self-publishing your book. Keep this in mind. The writing and self-publishing part is the easiest part of being an author. Now, I know, especially when you're writing your first book, you're like, no, it's not. This is so hard. It is confusing. It's complicated. There's so many different steps. I don't know if what I'm doing is right. I'm sure you've had some of those thoughts. I don't know if I'm doing this right. Am I doing this right? Am I going to go to jail? Because I don't know. I'm scared I'm going to get sued because I might not be doing it right. But the writing and the self-publishing part is the easiest part of being an author, because this is a one-time occurrence. You write it, you self-publish it, and you're done with that part. The next part, the part of marketing and selling it, that is a whole separate beast in and of itself. But the good news on today is that you can remove overwhelming confusion by working with a credible book coach. Who is the credible book coach I'm talking about? Yours truly. I will decomplicate the process and guide you step by step through writing and self-publishing your book. Now, what makes me different? I want to tell you what makes me credible and what makes me different than any other person who might say that they can help you to write your book. Number one, I'm going to teach you how to write your book prophetically. It's not a book coach out there. I can promise you, it's not. This is very authentic to Sarita A. Foxworth. I am going to teach you how to write your book prophetically. I work with prophetic women. I love working with prophetic women too, by the way. It's needed. What do I mean prophetically? I mean hearing from God and writing your book, not just saying, I got an idea, I'm not sure if it's me or if it's God. No, knowing that you have heard from God and knowing that this is a message that God is wanting you to write. I'm also going to teach you how to offset the cost of self-publishing. One of the most daunting factors of self-publishing is the money. And people have been led to believe that it is going to cost I've heard all kind of crazy numbers, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. You have been led to believe that it's going to cost you these thousands of dollars to self-publish your book. It does not. It do not cost that much. So I'm going to help you to offset those costs. Number one, because I'm going to tell you exactly how much each step should cost, how to go about finding people to help you with all of those steps so that you're not going to the wrong people who are going to rip you off or overcharge you. Okay. And I'm also going to help you learn how to start generating income while you're writing the book. When you're generating income while you're writing it, you use the money that you make to pay to get it self-published. In other words, you're still writing your book, but I'm going to show you how to generate money while you're writing it so that as the money comes in, you can use that money to pay your book cover designer and to pay your editor instead of having to go in your bank account or come out of pocket for it. I'm going to show you how to do that. Another thing that sets me apart is that I understand the spiritual, emotional, and mental effects of sharing your personal story or journey in a book. Now, I only work with Christian authors. This is why. This is a call of God, right? This is an assignment. This is a work of God. And I understand how it is when you want to share vulnerable parts of your story for the purpose of glorifying God. You want to share your testimony. You want to walk somebody through something that you have already been through. And I understand how that feels to talk about deep, dark things or experiences that you have had and how to navigate those fears, those concerns, the judgment that you think is going to come. I understand all of the emotional and spiritual turmoil that you may experience while you're trying to write your book because you want to help. You want to minister, you want to serve with your words, you want to share your story and be a blessing to somebody. But while you're writing those things down, you're like, ugh, do I want to say this? Do I want to share that? What about my mama? She going to be mad that I said this. What about my dad? He going to be mad I put him out there. What about this? What about that? I understand all of those things because I've done it. I've gone through it. I've worked through it. And I've coached other women to get through those same challenges and to overcome those things so that they can get their book written and done. So this is what makes me credible. All right. And then lastly, unlike Googling and reading random blog posts or getting surface level guidance, I give you full tutorials, walkthroughs, workbooks, audios, and videos that you have access to. As long as I'm in business, you'll have access to it. You'll probably have access even if I shift and open up another business because I don't plan on, revoking. I plan on always having my online coaching platform. So when you Google and you read different blog posts and you watch videos here and there, that is why you're confused. All this information is coming at you and it can be overwhelming. It is confusing. You're hearing way too many voices. You're getting information from too many different sources and you are causing yourself to be confused. But I don't want you to be confused. I want to help you to make it clear, make it easy, give you step by step, remove all the clutter, and help you to actually get this project done. Are you ready? Is my question for you. And go ahead and let me know in the chat. I want y'all to answer these questions for real. Are you ready to become an author? Are you ready to make money from your book? Are you ready to minister and make Christ famous? Now, as I was creating these slides, this came up in my spirit because people will look at your numbers and your followers and think that you are famous. But when you're doing God's work, you're making Christ famous, because when people come to you, you're leading them to Christ. When people come to Sarita, I point them to God. When people sign up to work with me in the Soul Tie Breaking Challenge, what am I doing in that challenge? I'm pushing you to go into the presence of God, into the Word of God, and to get some help so that you can get delivered. This is 100% God's work. When people go in there and read my book, it don't matter which book they're reading. They could be reading the Single Woman's Prayer book, obvious. They could be reading the devotional. That's sending you into prayer. You could be reading Giving Birth to Miracles. That's a deep dive Bible study based book. You're going to get all kinds of scriptures. You're reading How to Prepare for Your Future Husband. If you get Find Your Purpose, that one has everything to do with your spiritual gifts, your calling, and your anointing. So people will come to me and I am pushing you into the presence of God, into the Word of God. And I'm making Christ famous. Even though people will incorrectly assume that it is me that is famous. It is not me. It is the God that's in me. But are you ready to do that as well today? Are you ready to minister and make Christ famous? Let me see what y'all said. Let me go see, because I can't see when I'm sharing my screen. Who said yes? Only 2 people said they're ready. What about the rest of y'all? Okay, thank you. Are you ready? Now, if you're not ready, I don't know what to tell you. But I created this for women that were ready. And I really only prayed that God would send women that were ready. Okay, well, if you're ready, then let's go. If you're ready, then let's go. The book writing challenge starts on Monday. The book writing challenge starts on Monday. Now, some of you that are here either have already signed up for it. You've already taken the book writing challenge. It's time for you, but I have something for you. After I go into this book writing challenge, I have something that's gonna help you as well. The book writing challenge, let me talk to you about that real quick. Give me about 3 more minutes to go through this, and then I'll see if you have any more questions for me. In the book writing challenge, I'm going to help you with what to write. I'm going to help you to get clear about which part of your story to share and which book idea to bring to life first. Now, if you're anything like me, you are creative and you have multiple book ideas on the inside of you, and you're like, I think I know what I should be writing. But even when I sit down to write, I have so many ideas that are overlapping. I don't know which one is God, which one is me, which one to do first. Should this be multiple chapters or should this be a different book? That's why you need an experienced, incredible book coach to help you with that. After writing 11 books, if I've written 11 books and all of my 11 books are different, I understand how, if in all of my books got multiple chapters, I know how it feels to make that decision and make that call and get clear. Okay, God, is this a different book or is this just a different chapter? I've done it 11 times, so I get it. I help you with the writing process. During the prophetic book writing portion of the challenge, I'm going to show you how to tap into supernatural wisdom and guidance from the Holy Spirit to get your book written quickly and powerfully. Now, with that being said, when you are writing your book prophetically, you're going to write it so that the person that's reading it can experience and encounter God. I don't care what your subject matter is. You could be writing a children's book. This just came to my mind. Y'all know Mr. Rogers, right? Y'all remember Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? Mr. Rogers was a man of God. I didn't know this. He was a man of God. and he was a Christian. And when he started on PBS, he had to fight in order to put a broadcast out that was for children and teaching different lessons to children. He had to fight for that because apparently that was something that was unheard of and not done back then. And he was a man of God. This was a work of the Lord. He was on TV. He was not preaching the gospel. He was not talking about Jesus Christ. He was teaching children how to manage their feelings, how to make good choices, how to trust adults, how to feel safe. He was teaching children about that. However, because of the anointing that was there, there were people who would write him letters and say that I was watching Mr. Rogers and I got healing in my body. There's one that comes to mind. It was a little girl who was blind, and she was watching or listening to Mr. Rogers, and she started to get her eyesight. Things like that have taken place because even though he wasn't saying to people, I'm going to pray for you to get healing on today, the anointing of God was there. He was doing the work of the Lord. This is why when you are writing your book, I don't care what your book, you can have a book of poetry and people are still going to have an encounter and an experience with God because it is going to be saturated and drenched with the presence of God. And I am going to show you how to write your book prophetically. If you struggle right now, is he speaking? Is he not speaking? I am going to help to get clear about when he is not speaking, especially during this writing process. I'm also going to help you with self-publishing and marketing. So each step of the self-publishing process during a live tutorial. So the self-publishing part is not pre-recorded. That's what we're going to be doing when we're together in our live sessions. I'm literally the same way I shared my experience with you today, except I'm going to go much more deeper. I'm going to give you live walkthroughs for how to copyright, how to publish a book on Amazon, how to get, if you want to do a hardcover option, I'm going to show you how to do that. If you want to do a paperback, I'm going to show you how to do that. How do you get your book from being a Word document to being a book that is literally in your hand that you can hold up to people and say, here is my book. Go to the link in my bio and order it. I'm going to do a live tutorial to show you how to do every single part of this, getting the inside design, getting the cover design, all of that. Live tutorials I'm going to walk you through, and it includes coaching and personal assistance based on the type of book that you're writing. So depending on what the different women in their group are working on, age group of who she was trying to write her book to because she didn't have kids. So depending on what kind of book you're writing, personal coaching and assistance. You might have all kind of questions for me about your book. During the book writing challenge, I'm going to answer that. Here is what is included. You get a lot. The book writing challenge is packed. It's only 4 weeks, but quite honestly, I've been thinking about extending it because it is so packed with information and content. I've been thinking about making it 6 weeks instead of 4. But here is what is included in the challenge. You get a coaching video, 9 ways to find your book topic and message. If you are stuck getting clear about your book topic and message, once I go through all of these 9 places where you can find it, I give you 9 places. You're going to be able to confirm 2, 3, and 4, and you're going to be like, oh, okay. Well, I've already seen this book idea in these 4 places, so I know that this is what God wants me to write about. You're also going to get the 3-part prophetic book writing audio class. That is the audio for a reason, because as I'm talking to you about what's going to go in your book, what your chapter should be, what's your focus of the book, what's your message, I'm guiding you through that. And then we take moments during the audio where we break to hear from God prophetically. And I pray and I have some time for you to really hear from God. That's why it's an audio, because I wanted you to listen. And then I wanted you to be in a quiet place where you can also be hearing from God as you're working through the audio class. But even in the 3rd part of the audio class, I talked to you about your book budget. I talked to you about, considerations for your design and for your formatting. So I do even get into, I also talk to you about marketing your book too during that class. You get the prophetic book writing workbook that goes with the class. We are going to meet together in bi-weekly live online coaching sessions. But, and I didn't put this in here, depending on the needs of the group, I will do a bonus coaching session. It'll be a phone coaching session. So I will do bonus sessions depending on the needs of the group. Meaning if I see a lot of conversations going on, a lot of questions, similar questions keep coming in, if I'm getting a lot of feedback, then I'll hop on the phone with you all and do bonus sessions that are unscheduled. You'll also get behind the scenes from my writing and publishing process, because I'm going to be working, not book number 11. This needs to be changed. I've already published book number 11. I'm going to be working on book number 12. And book number 12, I believe, is going to be a journal. I need to get confirmation. I'm almost positive it's going to be a journal. But I'm going to be working on book number 12, and I'm going to give you some behind the scenes, because I've already been through this process so many times. But there are still some considerations that I even have to have, because I want to make sure that I'm still doing what God is wanting me to do. There are some bonuses that are included. How to get answers from heaven. If you're not sure if you're hearing from God or not, I'm going to help you with that during the challenge. And Sold Out Pre-Orders is a digital presentation with coaching to help you start marketing and selling as you get the book completed to start to sell your first copies. What does that mean? That means the questions that I have about how do you create an audience that wants to buy your book, I'm going to help you to get started with that, because I want you to sell pre-orders. That is one way that you're going to offset your self-publishing costs, by selling pre-orders, but I'm going to teach you. You probably see other people do that, right? You see people say, I got a book that's coming out January 1st, go pre-order it at the link in my bio. If you want to know how to do that and how to get people to buy, how to make an offer, I'm going to teach you how to create your own pre-order package, so that you can offer something that is irresistible to the people that you're called to, and very magnetic as well, so that they'll come in, see what you're offering, go ahead and pre-order it. You'll have money coming in while you're writing the book, and then you'll be able to cover some of those self-publishing costs, so you don't have to come out of pocket. I'm literally going to walk you through that. All right, I'm literally going to walk you through that. So go to the call to action button that you see up top, if that sound good, and save your seat. We are starting on Monday. Monday is the 30th, right? Or Sunday the 30th. Let me look at my calendar real quick. We're starting on Monday. However, when you sign up for the book writing challenge, you know you get instant access to some bonuses. There is some pre-work that's already posted and available for everybody that signs up, so you can get started even before Monday. You should already be writing before the challenge starts. The challenge is so robust that I had to get started a little bit earlier. That's why I think I'm going to do 6 weeks instead of 4. Because, and then the way that I teach and coach you, I literally give you step by step, because I want you to have some of your manuscript completed even before we officially start the live challenge. And that way, when we're working together, all I'm helping you to do is fine tune and tweak. And then I can focus on self-publishing, because I don't want the whole book writing challenge you to still be writing. And then after the challenge is over, now you start self-publishing. Now you got all these self-publishing questions. But I want you to start actually getting into this publishing part, because you made really good progress writing your books. Okay, any questions? That is it. That is all that I have for you on today. I'm glad that you guys are here. Is packed, powerful, and anointed. Thank you so much. There's not a payment plan anymore. No, the payment plan ended. The payment plan ended in October. Oh, Monica said she's going to be there. Perfect. Can you briefly go through the domain purchase idea? What do you mean go through it? Be more specific with your question, Sarah. So glad that you'll be oh, Monica said she's going to be in a mentoring group. Okay. So the mentoring group is not the same as the book writing challenge. I just want to put that out there. So the mentoring group is 100% going to be about December is about creating products and content. It does not have anything to do with self-publishing. So just keep that in mind. Now that's what you want. If you are the person who has already published your book, mentor group is good for you. Can that be my landing page? Yes. Mm-hmm. You can purchase your domain and you can set up your landing page. Yeah, it doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? The two options for having and you also can connect that with the e-commerce site. So you can use a book on website, you can use a landing page, you can use your e-commerce site, and it could just be your domain with your book name. Mm-hmm. I'm going to send you an email with tools and tips. And I'm actually going to send you some resources that I have used to purchase your domain. And when you go and look at that, you'll also see an option to go ahead and set up a landing page or a website, whichever one you choose to do. So I'm going to send you an email after in a couple of hours today, and it's going to give you some more details on how to move forward with either option that you choose. All right, y'all. Is that it? No more questions? Going once, going twice? You can use whatever domain name you want. Now, I recommend using the book name if you're doing a book only website or a landing page. But you can use whatever domain name you want. It just makes more sense to use your book name, because when you're marketing and selling it, again, you want it to be easy. You don't want to. If I'm writing a book, if I only have one book, and I want it to be easy for people to go and purchase it, and my book name is How to Heal a Broken Heart, I want you to go to a website that says something like Heal a Broken Heart, Heal My Broken Heart, brokenheart.com. I wouldn't necessarily want to send people to saritafoster.com, because people can forget your name, especially when they're new to you. But if they're really interested in your book, they're not going to forget your book name. And then the longer that they stick around with you, they'll become more familiar with you. But people will mostly, especially if they're new to you, they will remember your product offering more than they will remember your actual name. Have y'all ever looked at, you know what I mean? You've seen a product and you're like, or you'll be on social media strolling and you'll see something and you're like, I seen a green dress. I don't remember what the name of the boutique was, but I remember that dress. And now you like, I can't even find it no more because I don't remember the name of the people that was selling the dress, but I remember the dress. It's the same concept with your book. Somebody will see your book and fall in love with it and say, oh man, there was a book I saw that I wanted. It was blue. It was called, such and such and such. I don't remember the girl name, but I remember the book. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And I will see y'all later. You will get the replay to this shortly, and I will be emailing you the tools and tips email today. This replay will be available only until Sunday, and then it goes down. But you'll also get a link automatically with the replay of this webinar. Bye, everyone. Have a good day.